Alright, this is chapter number 11, Coordination and Response. In today's lesson, we will see the basic definition for hormones, the glands which are responsible for the release of these hormones, and in the end, we will briefly discuss different type of glands and how they differ from each other. But first, let's see the basic definition for hormones. Hormones are basically chemical substances which are produced by glands. They are carried by blood and which alter the activity of one or more target organs. So now we got to know that hormones do not necessarily have to have only one target organ. They can have multiple, and once they have performed their function, they would be destroyed in liver. The glands are classified into two categories. The first one is named as endocrine gland. On the other hand, the second one is labeled as exocrine glands. They differ from each other because of the fact that the endocrine glands have no duct. They do not have a tube-like structure which would transfer the hormones to their target organs. Rather, they directly pour their secretion, that are the hormones, into the bloodstream. Blood would act as a transporting medium and would transfer the hormones from the gland to the target organ or target organs. On the other hand, if you see, exocrine glands have duct and they do not produce hormones, rather they have their own specialized secretion. First, let's see endocrine glands in detail. Like I told you here that the endocrine glands have no duct and they produce hormones. So basically, the hormone is released directly into the bloodstream, which will be transported to the target cell, which obviously would be present in the target organ or target organs. We have many endocrine glands, like you can see here in the animation, but obviously the syllabus does not include all of them. We will only go through a few of them which are included in the syllabus. We will go through pancreas, we will look at pituitary gland function, we will also see the function of adrenal glands and also the organs called gonads, which are the reproductive organs. They too do secrete certain hormones which obviously have a very important function. Exocrine gland, on the other hand, like I told you, have duct and they do not produce any hormone, rather they have their specialized secretion. For example, sweat gland, as you can see in the structure of the skin, the gland is lying there in the dermis and they are secreting sweat through the sweat duct onto the sweat pore, which is opening onto the surface of the skin. Let's see the example of pancreas, which is actually the example of both endocrine and exocrine gland. They are acting as both. How they are acting as both? If I want to look at how pancreas are acting as endocrine gland, it is because of the fact that they produces hormones that we have already studied. Insulin and glucagon, which are involved in the regulation of blood glucose level. Insulin converts excess glucose to glycogen in liver and muscles. On the other hand, glucagon converts glycogen to glucose. So this is the endocrine function of pancreas. On the other hand, if I say that pancreas are also acting as exocrine gland, it is because of the fact that they produce enzymes that help in digestion of our food. For instance, if you have read in Animal Nutrition, I told you that pancreatic juice is released by pancreas and it is poured via pancreatic duct into the first part of the small intestine called duodenum. That pancreatic juice used to have digestive enzyme including amylase, which act on starch and converts it into maltose. It also contains protease, which converts protein to polypeptide, and it also contains lipase, which act on fats to convert them into fatty acids and glycerol. So here I have shown you in the animation where pancreas are releasing pancreatic juice through a duct into the first part of the small intestine called duodenum. From here you can see the green part, which is showing you the gallbladder, and obviously it would be connected to the liver, and this duct is called as bile duct, which is taking bile from the liver and is secreting it into the duodenum. This is the brief summary of what we have already studied. The difference between endocrine glands and exocrine glands. Endocrine glands produce hormones and release them directly into the bloodstream to be transported to their target organs. These are also called as gland of internal secretion. They are ductless and include pituitary gland, pancreas, adrenal glands, and thyroid gland. Exocrine gland, on the other hand, pour their secretion out of the gland, and they are known as gland of external secretion. Since they are secreting the secretion out of the gland, it would be through a duct. The example includes sweat gland, salivary gland, and of course the pancreas.